What's going on, guys? It's Nate. This is the third video. Thank you guys so much. I made an Instagram this past week, maybe like 4 or 5 days ago, and it's been great. The love on there has been so sick. Everybody being super supportive, and just waiting to see what's next, and that's cool. That makes me really excited. Let me turn this off, make sure it doesn't ring while I'm doing this. So this week has been crazy. I was gonna post a video on Friday. I'd have a root canal on Thursday. I'm still feeling it bad, so I kind of delayed it for a couple days, and I was like, well, I'm gonna try to go out and find some cool stuff to show on the channel and to eventually post on my Instagram that I made for this. But everything's been so dry out here in Arizona. There hasn't been any yard sales really the past 2 weeks or so. I hit one yesterday. I'll go over what I got there. But yeah, so it's been a crazy week, so I'll jump into it. So the last video I talked about how I got a Sony, it's a PSX65 turntable for like nothing. I was contemplating keeping it, but I'm a very simple person when it comes to my gear for the most part. I just want something that's reliable, that's not going to cost, somewhere down the road I have to get something repaired. It's not going to cost me a crazy amount of money, which some of these things do. Like the repairs sometimes cost more than the actual unit itself, which to me is just like, I'm not emotionally invested in things like others are. So I posted the Sony online. A dude from Tucson, so I live up in like the Phoenix metropolitan area, and so this guy, it's like 90 miles away, so it's like an hour and a half, if that, maybe 2 hours actually, one way. Hit me up. I posted it online. I had it posted on eBay, but then I didn't want to go through the hassle of like shipping and making sure it gets there safe. Like I didn't want to deal with any of that nonsense, so I posted it. The dude was like, yo, I'll drive up there if you take a certain amount. And the amount was cool with me. He paid me $150 for it, which is significantly more than I got, that I bought it for. But he also, I was like, well, do you have any records that could kind of sweeten the deal? And so he did, and that's what I'm going to kind of go over today. It's just some records that I got this weekend from just, moving stuff around. Because, I haven't been feeling it too hot lately with this tooth. I don't like dental work. I've been sleeping like crap, so it's been kind of hard. But this guy that bought the turntable in Tucson said that he was only into new wave music, and I'm not going to knock anybody for their style of music, but that he bought this back in 1981, and this is, from what I can find, I reached out to a couple people online, because it doesn't have the sticker, but it does have the insert of, it says Pink Floyd's The Wall on a little white piece of paper. See if I can get it out without having to tear up this whole thing like an idiot. Yeah, so it's got this in there, which is cool. I haven't seen them with this. They're usually always gone, but it's in great condition, dude. Like, he threw this in there, and I mean, depending, I guess, on the pressing and all that stuff, it can go for whatever, but I mean, it was just nice to not have to spend probably like $30 bucks on a record that I wanted. It just came, with the deal. So that's cool. Pink Floyd, The Wall. I've been really getting into Pink Floyd lately. I really dig them. Gilmore and Roger Waters. Like, it's just nice, chill around the house music. He also brought this up. This is a first pressing of Iron Maiden. I don't like Iron Maiden. I just don't. I threw this on for the sake of just throwing it on to make sure it worked well. It's the first pressing. It's all OG. He's got the original sticker. He got it from in Tucson, so that's cool. Just not my thing. Iron Maiden's never really been my thing, but a good friend that I work with loves Iron Maiden. That's like his favorite band. So I'm going to just give it to him. So that's going out to Papa Tim. Okay. So then this one, I sold a few records to coworkers and stuff like that. Like I'll sell them. Even if they're like $20, I'll sell them for like $5. Depending on what I get them for. And there's a couple records that I didn't have. That nobody wanted. So I took them down to this place locally. It's called Double Nickel Collective. It's right by a venue I still sometimes go to when I go to shows. But by 51 West down in Tempe. Super chill dudes there. They've been there for a long time. They're old punk dudes that were, around the scene back in the 80s and have crazy stories of going and getting signatures from the Ramones and, Joey Ramone and Dee Dee and stuff. So it's just a cool environment, just very lax. But they have a Facebook and they post stuff on there that they get in, like popular stuff that's gonna, they're trying to get people to come in the door. And I love Black Sabbath. That's probably my all-time favorite band across the board. I think they're pioneers in so many different ways. But my favorite album from them is probably Master of Reality or the original the Black Sabbath, their first debut, or Paranoid, or any of the first 6 I'm cool with. But they posted this on there. So this is my 3rd copy of Master of Reality. And so I have like the first US pressing, which this one's the first original US pressing. And then I have the first UK pressing. I don't have any of the Vertigo stuff, but I do have the remaster with the double LP that has like all the B-sides and demos and unreleased stuff. So this one is like I've doubled up on it. Or no, this is the first US, I have a first UK, and then I have this. And the double LP, Jesus. But this one, it was a little more than I wanted to spend, so I took trade down there, and I didn't have to come out of pocket it for anything. But this, dun dun da, I'm so stoked, and I'm traded basically just for this. It's hard to find them, and it's the original poster that came with it. I hope you guys can see it all the way in there. But there they are, dude. Tony Iommi, Geezer, Ozzy, the dudes. So I'm very excited. I already have people hit me up about wanting to buy this, and unfortunately for them, it is not for sale because I am already looking at frames to get it, framed, board and matted and framed. So I am very excited with that. So that was a solid deal off some records I got for 50 cents that I was able to, turn and get something I really wanted. And then this, I don't know if it's controversial. It's one of I've been looking for it for a while. This is Metal by Pink Floyd. It is the first US pressing. I love it. This album, I think, is completely slept on. So I got 2 Pink Floyd records this weekend, which is cool. But yeah, it's a double gatefold with everybody on there. Single LP. It sounds so good. I think this album in particular, I think it's just overshadowed. I mean, when you're a band like Pink Floyd and you have an album like Dark Side of the Moon and Wall and Animals, it's easy for things, I think, for people to overstep things or sleep on things. But this album, dude, this album right here, in my opinion, is the best Pink Floyd album. In my opinion, I think it's just everything that Pink Floyd is in one early record. I think this came out in like 70 or 69 or something. I don't know. Pink Floyd was, I think they first dropped their album sometime in the mid-60s, but Metal is such a good album. And I wish I would have found out about this album in particular sooner, because I'm just now getting into bands like Pink Floyd and stuff. But I think that would have pulled me in for sure from the get-go, because I wasn't really into like classic rock or prog or progressive rock or like anything like that as a kid. I just like punk and hardcore music. So that's it for the vinyl. What else did I do? So, yes, okay, another thing. I had an old receiver that I had initially traded with a dude for another receiver. It was a Kenwood 5400 or 5700. It may have been a 5700. I traded him a modular component system, which is an MCS 3235. Huge silver face, gorgeous receiver. It was tight. It was awesome. And I got it back because the caps on the Kenwood weren't working. It kept having this weird noise, so I hit the dude up because the MCS was working great. And I was like, yo, dude, this isn't really cool. Can we just trade back? And so then I sold it. Whether that's sketchy, slimy, greasy, I don't know, but I don't care. But I sold it because I went to an estate sale yesterday, and I felt really bad for the couple that was there. They were in from out of town. Something happened to his brother. His brother was like from what he said, was an amateur audiophile. But I want I wanted a modern receiver because I have a big TV, I like watching movies and stuff, that has HDMI and that has a phono input. And everybody's like, dude, you're not gonna find that. You're not gonna find that under $500. Yada 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 yada. I'm here to prove everybody wrong. So I scooped that up yesterday for $20. Great condition. Has a remote. It's a Denon 2010 Ci, I think is what it is. It's tight. It literally has everything I want it to have. It has HDMI that goes into my television, so I can troubleshoot or whatever I need to do on the receiver. It has a phono input, so I can still listen in analog and listen to all my records, which in my opinion, there's this huge warmness sounds better on older equipment and vinyl sounds better on older stuff and da-da-da-da-da, which is cool, I mean, if that's what you want to do. But I've had a lot of vintage equipment, whether it's buying the wrong stuff or buying stuff without inspecting it properly or whatever, or not having the basic knowledge for certain things to look out for. I've just ran into a ton of issues with things. Even after they've been recapped, you have to go in and spray deoxit, which is fine, and I'll still buy vintage stuff. But for my rig in my, I want this thing to be a workhorse. I listen to I would say 3 to 6 hours a day of vinyl on my system. So I don't know, I need it to work, and I need it to work properly. I don't need it to be overheating. I don't need any of that. And it's cool, I can play Spotify through it now too if I don't want to throw a record on, or if my turntable's down, whatever. But that was the finds for this week. I'm sorry for being late on the post. This tooth is messing with me bad. I do not wish it on anybody. But we got more stuff to come. I got a buttload of records that I need to go through and show and all this stuff. Some other things are in the work to potentially get into a place and start doing, consignment stuff, or having, my own booth within a collective store. So that'll be really sick, and hopefully comes to fruition, because I love this. I love getting people into music. I love getting myself into new genres and checking new things out. I just love it. I love the hunt. I love the find, and it's all a reward to me. So, but again, thank you for everybody for reaching out, for sharing the videos, for sharing the Instagram, for hitting me up. I really appreciate it. I don't really do a lot of things. I live a pretty modest, life, pretty frugal life in a lot of ways, or just very chill. And, sometimes it gets weird, and it's nice to have an outlet, I guess I could say. But again, thank you all so much. I appreciate it. I'm trying to get it out. Try to get it out again or try to get it out for sure on Friday, and just be digging and digging and digging and digging and digging for more stuff. But follow the Instagram, desert_dog_vinyl on Instagram. Give us a follow. I'm always posting live, our little stories, Instagram stories and stuff like that, to just keep it going. It's fun to see everybody's rigs and what they got, and different variants or pressings, and people from all over the world have been following me, which is super sick, and not just weird spam accounts, people that are genuinely engaging. And it's a dope community, dude. The vinyl community's sick. There's for sure pretentious people in there, but that's literally with everything, whether it's with sports, jiu-jitsu, hardcore music, it's everywhere, dude. So it's just nice to have that happy medium and see people that are interested in the same things that I'm interested in. That's cool to have a sense of community in all of this, and showing each other new stuff. I think that's really sick. But we'll cut it there. We will see you guys, in a few days. Hopefully I have a bunch of cool stuff to show you guys, or will have a bunch of good stuff to show you guys for sure. And give us a follow, give us a like, give us a share, do whatever you want to do. It's your life. Talk to you soon. Blessings always.